What's up, my peoples? What's up, my peoples? It's your main man, Hershon on Dr. Life. Hershon on Dr. Life of Alien Bedrock Nation. The hip hop, ITB, Almighty Bedrock Nation. We live in this world, we're not of this world. This world is not our home. The Hunter's Field. It ain't Huntsville, it's the Hunter's Field. It ain't Alabama, it's Almighty. The dazzling Onyx City. The launching pad for the narrow way, dazzling rocket. Going to the dazzling white city, the New Jerusalem. In Huntsville, Alabama, we build the chariots of fire. The chariots of fire for the last and final battle of Armageddon, Rome's challenge. Rome's Game of Thrones challenge. Rome has said they want to spark up the last bread and circus with those have chosen to be ITB, procreator made perfect fit, procreator made perfect CrossFit, carry the cross. Ain't nobody self-made. To my brothers and sisters, born and raised in Huntsville, Alabama. To my brothers and sisters, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And anywhere in the southeast corner of the United States of America. One of the greatest and most important cornerstones in our apple of God's eye, transformers, lionesses, lion's den. This corner of the country are where the lionesses go to give birth to the predestiny's child that will prevail. The dream girls who will give birth to future kings and queens. The golden child. This corner in the southeast corner of the United States of America, from what they call Alabama down to Georgia. This is the lioness's nursery. This is where the birthright, the generational birthright, is handed down over and over, the fashion statement. So you queens of Sheba, every Monday we gonna train Huntsville, Alabama, and all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia, and all the way down to the bottom tip of Miami, Florida. We're gonna train y'all queens to be the greatest wedding feast fashion house, the hip hop wedding feast fashion house of the world. At Oakwood University, my family was started years and years ago. My mother and father, my grandparents took my mother and father down and made an investment in this fashion statement. My grandfather is a general in the army of the undefeated kings in the United States. They changed it to America. All through the word of God, God crowns the kings of Assyria as the kings of the north and the wisest men from the greatest of the kings of the east, eastiest point. And my grandmother is a descendant of the lionesses from the queens of the south, the queens of Salem, Queen Bathsheba, lionesses queen's homecoming. Lioness's homecoming queen, the Bathsheba lioness's homecoming queen. No more will we look at the injustice of them elevating and telling you that you keeping up with the Kardashians. While you look up to Queen B, imprisoned, enslaved, to a clown in shackles, unequally yoked. So every Monday is Print Your Procreator Made Perfect CrossFit. Procreator Made Perfect Cross. Huntsville, hip hop, one love, Beverly Hills, HavillionHeirs, marriage makers money. You didn't know there was a such thing as Procreator Made Perfect, hip hop, one love, Beverly Hills, marriage makers money. Why work for money when the imposters when the imposters in your life faking like they're royals, faking like they govern you, faking like they have authority, have none. Why work for money when you can print your own money? My queens in Huntsville, Alabama, we're going to come and give y'all. Well, Oakwood University is sitting right there. Out of all of the universities in Huntsville, Oakwood claims to be the ones who are there for a spiritual purpose. And I'm here to expose the fact that they robbing you and robbing God. Our hip hop group is called Alien Nation, the double-edged sword, the eastiest point. And that campus is a training cornerstone, is the cornerstone, bedrock of ages cornerstone, where the John Horse husbandmen, foot soldiers at the eastiest point go to train and prepare for the final battle of the bedrock of ages. That whole, the whole state. Our ancestors defend this country from the top of the East Coast down to the bottom of the East Coast. The imposters from around the world, they have to land on the East Coast because all throughout history, the greatest of the kings rule from the East to the West. You can't start in the West and come to the East. You're out of order. The sun rises and the sun sets. The sun rises in the East. The life of the sun is over when it passes to the West. For you to claim you king, you got to come on this like the sun when it rises in the morning. And when you look at history, the same kings and queens that was in the beginning in the East in the Garden of Eden, that the Word of God calls the New Jerusalem. No, the Word of God calls it the New Salem. The Son of God is called the King of Salem, the King of Righteousness, the High Priest after the order of the Ark of the Covenant, Ark of the Marriage Covenant, the throne of the Queen of Salem. The Queen of Salem sits on the throne of the Ark of the Marriage Covenant. And the King of Salem, the Son of God husbandman, is a foot soldier standing guard beside the Queen of Salem, who sits on the throne and rules. And we're going to show you when you put that fashion statement back in place, and husbandmen, foot soldiers, you expand the territory in the land that your pride hunts in, gets married in, makes fashion statements, goes to war in, gives birth, anoints babies in. The husbandman, foot soldier, all your job is to expand the borders of your territory by taking the lands promised to you from poachers and imposters and scavengers and buzzards who are unfruitful. So on Mondays, we're going to show you how to separate yourself from the blessings and how to redirect the curses to those who have no Havillionaire marriage maker purses. All of these fake keeping up with the Kardashians should have empty purses. And each one of you queens of Sheba with a vow and a covenant. We're going to make the queens of Sheba from around the world come to Huntsville, Alabama to get tailor fitted. So in order to go from where our queens are right now, battered and bruised, injured, devoured, it has to be therapy. It's called an intervention or rehabilitation. So as we build the royal court in the cornerstone from Alabama to Atlanta, these are the watering holes of the pride land. A pride can't exist without water of life, oasis. And in every pride rock, in the bedrock of ages, the living fountain of water, the fountain of youth, the mother of the living, water of life flows out of the bedrock of ages. Go look at Moses. He brought millions of people out of bondage and was about to cross the desert. And the Most High God led him straight to the bedrock of ages. They couldn't see where the water was, but the Most High God had led him right to the water. All over his promised land, he has the water of life, living fountains of water. But if you ain't a part of the first fruit blessing, marriage covenant, if you're not in our wedding party, our first fruit birthright, bedrock of ages, wedding party, you don't get to drink. So now that Oakwood has sold their birthright, we coming to the highways and the byways where my wife and I got married at, where my mother and father came down and began their marriage at. My sister and myself, we was raised in Huntsville, Alabama. My wife and I, we got married in Huntsville, Alabama 30 years ago. 1996, almost 30 years ago. We had our first two children of four children in Huntsville, Alabama, 1997 and 1999. A king in 1997 and a queen in 1999. A king, identical in the image of the Son of God, who we bring into Huntsville to go through the same process that his great great grandfather started in our family. His grandfather repeated it. I repeated it. And can't nobody stop us from giving the world what four generations of our family has given the world. And in 1999, my mother's mother passed away. And in the same year, my wife gave birth to our homecoming Queen of Sheba. As I walked through the Huntsville Hospital to anoint my homecoming Queen of Sheba, we anointed every baby in the nursery. Every time I went and got mine, we consecrated and anointed everybody in there. In 97 and 99, every time we walked into that hospital. So you got people all over Huntsville, Alabama, walking around with the everlasting first fruit blessing and the birthright blessing, and you just don't know how to claim it. And it was Oakwood's job to teach you. But since they didn't, now they have no first fruit blessing. They have no birthright blessing. It is for you to claim and then you to give to the world. We're gonna bring to Huntsville, and you gonna teach you how to print money. Print your own money by sticking to the script. This is Hollywood Grail Studios. This is Hollywood Studios, Hollywood Grail Pictures, Hollywood Grail Fashion Statement, Hollywood Grail Modeling. The greatest image in heaven is a Hollywood Grail star. All you supposed to do is when you get the knowledge, stick to the script. All right. Starting on this coming Friday, April the 15th. So I'm gonna take you through the whole weekend of festivities where I'm gonna take you through the calendar. We're gonna take you off of the old calendar that you was on. The How to Make a Slave calendar. We're gonna take you off of that. We're gonna put you on the tailor fit. This is a fashion house. This is a fashion house. That's the homecoming base of the fashion house called the Hollywood Grail Fashion Statement Fashion House. And kings and queens from all over the world is going to come to Huntsville, Alabama to get what Oakwood fumbled that we're going to give to y'all. And as long as you repeating the business model, as long as you sticking to the script, and every generation you teach yours like we teaching ours to stick to the script, nobody can ever take the ability to print your own wealth. So on Monday, and we're going to remind you every Monday why I work for money. When they tried to print all about the Benjamins, blood money, I'm going to show you after they commit a violation on April the 17th and worship a false god in the United States. This is the last time they're going to disrespect the Most High God in our lands. When they commit their violation, we're going to judge everybody by separating the rats, the hyenas, from the Lion King and King's pride. The Lion King and King, the lioness's homecoming queen, Pride Land. The launching pad for evicting imposters and hyenas is the southeast corner of the country, where Georgia, Atlanta, Mississippi, that corner, This is the launching pad where Christopher Columbus couldn't even land there. Our military bases, notice they 13 colonies, all are north of there. They tried to claim Georgia. They didn't have Georgia. They did not have Georgia. My ancestors' army, John Horse. My grandfather, my mother's father, the descendant, direct descendant of John Horse. My mother's oldest brother. This line of Johns goes all the way back to the John the Revelator, who walked with the King of Kings, and the King gave his mother to John the Revelator to protect. We are the line of the John the Revelators in the school of the prophet that was given the commission to protect the queens, the homecoming queens of Bathsheba. We are the foot soldiers. We are the military defenders of the crown of Sheba, David's wife, Bathsheba. Solomon was so ignorant, he had an opportunity to wife and marry and crown. This is why Israel has no crown to this day, because Solomon. Solomon wasn't a man after God's own heart. Solomon wasn't wise, he was ignorant. It's just like the men of today. They see women as trash, waste, something to play with. And just like the men of today, Solomon had the unnatural, seducing doctrines of devils to unify itself with men. So we telling the whole world, birds of a feather flock together. The bird that matches our queens, the homecoming queen of Sheba, is the falcon. All the time in Egypt, the falcon was the royal bird that represented the queens of the birthright of Sheba that ruled from the Nile River in Egypt. The jewel of the Nile River is the queens, and the falcon is their royal bird. So Atlanta tries to claim that it's the falcon. Alabama is AI, apple of God's eye, the answer. The apple of God's eye. The Adam's apple of God's eye is the last Eve, Bathsheba. Last Eve, lioness. So the ATL stands for the apple of God's eye, Transformers, lioness, homecoming. Every generation of lionesses that repeats the birthright blessing on your children, you transform your economy. All about the Benjamin's blood money. To the Hollywood Grail, to the hip hop Hollywood Grail. Beverly Hills, HavillionHeirs, marriage makers money. Beverly Hills, HavillionHeirs, marriage maker money. My mother, her name is Beverly. Her father was a descendant of John Horse, and he taught his sons Just like the king on the cross said, John, here is your mother. Mother, here is your son. She had given birth to other sons, but because they rejected the birthright, they chose to worship Caesar, like Oakwood is doing in Huntsville, Alabama. And they unleashed curses that Israel would pay for with their life. And because God knew that John was all in heaven, he had laid his treasures up in heaven. He gave the protection of his mother, not to earthly sons, wicked sons that came out of her womb, to a son that did the work of his father. That's the fashion statement. Before he closed his eyes in death, he said, son, this is your mother. Mother, this is your son. That was a commandment for him to protect her with his life. And do you know when they tried to kill all the other apostles, they could not kill John because John accepted the role of protecting the queens of Sheba. They can't take your life. So let me take you through these events. So on the screen, you see something called Dr. Life Mark, the Havilah Road, Havilah coins. And they have something called Bitcoin and blockchain technology. We're coming to Huntsville, Alabama to give you a refund. To give you a refund for how Oakwood has robbed you. 4,000 individuals, 2,000 future husbandmen, and 2,000 future lionesses, queens, Bathsheba. And we're going to pay you. We're going to back pay you to build the fashion house that we tried to leave at Oakwood University. We tried to do this through the institution. But because they have a different agenda, we're going to clean house. We're going to build a whole new house that erases them from history with the people who from the land. And you need your own economy. This is the Hannibal School of the Prophets. Oakwood is supposed to be a school of the prophets. And when they follow Alabama A&M, we're going to give you an opportunity to be an exchange student. If you at Alabama A&M, if you ain't go to no school, if you ain't interested in school, you a prime candidate. And with this new economy, this is the blueprint, this is the covenant and contract on how and who has access, worth your weight in gold. And instead of Amazon being the number one marketplace, this first responder intervention and rehabilitation is called Dr. Life Mart, Dr. Have Life Mart. It's not HSV for Huntsville, it's HAV. Havilah, the Havilah Road is the actual road, the actual financial road, the Salem Wall Street, the Salem Streets of Gold, the Queen of Salem Streets of Gold, the Salem dazzling white city streets of gold, Wall Street. Same one that Joseph had all of his banks on, that rebuilt Egypt for his wife. The Havilah Road has always been the economic center for the Garden of Eden and the wealth of the world, always. And it has always been our inheritance. All we're doing is we're coming and we're resurrecting this financial center, connecting it from Huntsville down to Atlanta, all the way down to Florida, all the way down through Miami. We're paving this Havilah Road. This is where the world will come, like they came to Joseph's court. Huntsville, Alabama is a court where the wedding party, when my wife and I can't tell you how many of our brothers and sisters got married in Huntsville and started their family. I can't tell you how many of our brothers and sisters from around the world had children in Huntsville. This is one of the greatest royal courts on the planet. Instead of Oakwood teaching the people the first fruit blessing and the birthright blessing that we're coming to teach you Friday. We're going to start at noon on Friday, at 12 noon. And we're going to take you through all of the significant financial events that the Son of God, when he walked the earth, took him through. He took him through a feeding of 5,000. Before he laid his life down, he put in the Havilah Road economy, the feeding of the 5,000, where he taught them how to take and convert 5 loaves and 2 fish into abundant life, money, and then gave them opportunity to go and open up the banks in their neighborhood and do the same thing every day. Then he did it again with 4,000. This is the Havilah Road that Israel had lost. They call it the Silk Road. The Silk Road, for the silk veils that they put on when they prostitute themselves in Babylon. Silk Road. Prostitutes, when they dance around, they have the veils on. Silk Road is prostitution. The Havilah Road is abundant life banking. So starting at 12 noon, April the 15th, we're gonna have an Eventbrite. All you're gonna have to do is RSVP. Meet us at the location, wherever we are at whatever specific time. Bring your 5 loaves and 2 fish, whatever that means. You got to convert a portion of your currency to even get in the door. You cannot come out of one economy and get into another economy without sacrificing the old to get the new. This is what he told the rich young ruler. Your heart is where your money is. Your heart is where your money is. So they train us as a people to scavenge and be bottom feeders, and then try and please ourselves in all of the Babylonian things that defile and keep us trapped in their slavery. So the very things that you invest in, to try and put a smile on your face is the very things that enslave you. And that is the sacrifice. That is the sacrifice that Israel had to bring. That's where why there's a monetary value on coming into the court of any king. If you came into the courtroom of any king with a request and did not have a tribute, the guards would cast you out. That's the ultimate disrespect. Because when you come in front of the king, when you got access to the king, that's the time to that's the time to do business. That's the time to do business. So you have opportunity to say, listen, man, I could be an asset to the kingdom. I could help the kingdom grow by providing this tailor service, or I can provide this marriage maker service. I could be the bed, or we could be the training ground. So when you enter in the king's court, there's going to be a moment where you could come and make your request known, and the king going to grant it because you're in the inner circle. But if you come to the inner circle and you like, I ain't trying to get nothing, but I want to be elevated. That's why our people are always at the bottom. So just understand, if you love where you are, if you love the life you have, if you love being on the bottom when the word said you're supposed to be the head and not the tail, then keep that mentality that you got. Keep the blood money that you got. But if y'all come ready to sacrifice, in the door, in the door, in the door, before you even walk in the door, it's gonna be $80 for an individual. But if you smart, queens, every child in your household, for an additional $80, you could cover your 3 children, your children, whoever's in your household. If you raising brothers and sisters in your household, and y'all better tell every household in Huntsville, Alabama, that wants a crown, that they better be in the place. Dr. Lifemart. It's where we come to exchange with the King of Kings. And because a mother had her son prepared, and a mother had a little boy and made an investment in a little boy when nobody else had nothing to give, he saved the day. We're gonna show y'all how to put your babies in that same position. This is called the token sale because we have our own a list of coins on the screen. We got the BTC coin, break the cycle coin. We got the Hollywood coin. We got the Havilah Road coin. We got the Hollywood Grail Ethereum coin. We got the ITB Ethereum coin. We got the ITB Bitcoin. We got the ITB Hollywood Games coin. And more importantly, we got the Marriage Maker coin. All of these coins we putting out. And so you also see a set of phones. It's called the Have Lifeline. When the Titanic sunk, they didn't have lifesavers in the waters who could save lives. That's who we are. And anywhere in the world, when people make this covenant with us, they get a Have Lifeline. In order to get your coins issued to you, it's so that at any moment, any place, any time, we sing a song, Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. This is the Have Lifeline. We got a phone for it. There's a pastor and his wife, Pastor Lewis, who take these Have Lifelines to Zimbabwe. No economy in Zimbabwe. Kenya being exploited to the fullest. South Africa, Soweto to be exact. Soweto is the identical to Orlando. These have lifelines are being put in the life of our people. And so we are going to be the lifeblood. We are going to be the investment vehicle. We're going to attach to the have lifeline. And those kingdoms, those were future kingdoms that used to be on the Havilah Road. What we're doing is we're repaving in gold the streets of gold, the Havilah Road streets of gold. Huntsville, Alabama is being turned into the banking empire that it was always supposed to be. So once again, I ask you, why work for money when you could print your own money? Asling, Onyx, Rocket City, renowned supernaturals, Thundercats, the apple of God's eye, Thundercat, Lioness, ATL, and renowned supernatural is who our people were before the flood. Another way to say it is divine. Elohim, the Diluvian. Diluvian means before the flood. Now they dumbed it down and they call them giants. No, Goliath was an ignorant runt like Solomon who worshiped other gods. That's who the giants are. Noah and his family, who God came to and built the ark, and he said, Noah, you are perfect in your generation. Noah is a renowned supernatural. His wife is a renowned supernatural, Diluvian, that the world calls giants. Though that's who we descended from. And that's who we putting you back in the covenant with. So we come into Huntsville, Alabama to say, especially to millennials, why be a slave to cryptocurrencies and work for pennies when you are the bedrock cornerstone, the millstone, the one love, USA clay. I am the potter, you are the clay. The Heavenly Father who created you said, I am the potter, you are the clay. The two little boys that you see next to Nipsey Hussle and Lauren London. That's my oldest son, who was born May the 19th, 1997. And then that's my brother's firstborn, who was born on the same date, May the 19th, 2 years ago. And we stick into the script. And all of these financial covenants on the bottom is what we coming to give y'all. If you see, it's the Ark of the Covenant to the left. That's my mom standing next to the Ark of the Covenant. This is a covenant based off of performing arts and finest arts. So you see the young ladies doing gymnastics, flipping in the air. That's a part of our wedding dance and war dance. Wedding party, war party. Dancing is the ultimate element when we take the battlefield. Before going into battle and before going to the altar. No, before going into battle and after going to the altar, we do the wedding dance. It's the victory lap. We come in and teach y'all the soul hustle, victory lap, wedding party, war party dances. These are the same dances that they danced for David. So, once you get on the calendar, you're going to be on a 90-day challenge. Let's break the cycle. Perfect CrossFit. Now, Reebok has challenged. Reebok has put a challenge, and Reebok has a CrossFit Games. And in the Reebok CrossFit Games, they claim that they are the fittest on earth. So all we as men, we gonna be the bedrock, and we gonna train our queens back to take their crown. And we gonna prove that there is no greater husbandman foot soldier on earth, and there is no greater queen. And you won't answer to any other name but the queens of Sheba, Bathsheba, homecoming. And Assyria is the capital, and King Cyrus is the name of the king who ruled the whole world when Israel was enslaved to Babylon. And King Cyrus's queen, Queen Esther, my wife's grandmother is Queen Esther. This is a King Cyrus, the kingdom of Assyria, and Esther, Queen Bathsheba. And we do 90-day challenges, 4 90-day challenges every year. Spring, summer, fall, winter, 90-day challenges. Let's get perfect. CrossFit. This is the currency. We came to set the captives free. All of you women being abused in worthless relationships like Beyonce, we're gonna show you a transformation, an apple of the eye, transformer, lioness, David and Abigail, Nas and Beyonce. Nas is David, Beyonce is Abigail. I'm gonna show you Beyonce in the Bible. I'm gonna show you Nas in the Bible. I'm gonna show you Jay-Z losing his life in the Bible. The husband to Abigail lost his life because he got his wife and made his wife a slave to a worship system and a god, and and his wife was made just a pawn in the same financial system that you're in. Sacrificed to the gods that he worshiped, treated as trash. And when David came into that land, Abigail's husband, once again, Nas is David, Beyonce is Abigail. Abigail's husband tried to act like he was the king of the lands, but David had already been crowned king. The record industry has tried to artificially crown Jay-Z in rap, but rap don't count. So if y'all want your relationships upgraded, Huntsville, Alabama is going to be the bedrock. So this is the fake. This is the fake that they're lifting up over all of you queens. They've demoted you and they put you in second place. They claim that she's a billionaire. She has no performance arts. She has no finest arts. So how is there an economy? It's attached to the sex. She is a sex worker. And the that she Catholic Brotherhood of Popes. She is a altar girl. This is Nas's daughter. Her name is Destiny. My daughter is named the same thing. Destiny's Child. This child should belong to Beyonce. Beyonce should be. I'm going to show you to y'all in the word. David and Abigail. Nas is David. Beyonce is Abigail. I'm going to show it to y'all in Huntsville. And then I'm going to show y'all how y'all, the same individuals who in y'all life, I'm going to show you how to identify if you got a Nabal, if you just been in relationships attracting neighbors, and I'm gonna show you how to exactly what she did to get David to come back for her and get her the bride. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm gonna finish this later.